Today we're going to be checking out something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at the McFarlane Toys Walking Dead Lucille Replica. I found this at my local comic book store, and the retail price of this guy, or this girl, is $54.99. That's how much I paid for it. It is a replica of the bat made famous from The Walking Dead and Negan's trusty ally. I can tell you right away, it's not a real bat. It is plastic. From the handle to the very tip here is a plastic bat. It does have a fair bit of weight to it, though, for it being a plastic bat. Like, it doesn't, while it does obviously feel hollow, it doesn't give you the sense when you're holding it that it has a hollow, almost light, flimsy feel to it. It does have a fair bit of weight. Much like the bat itself from the show, you can see how it's been wrapped violently around with some barbed wire, and it runs basically from, I would say, like 2/3 of the way up the bat to the rest of the tip of the bat is wrapped in barbed wire. The barbed wire is done pretty good, actually. It is you can see here, it's kind of like a soft rubber that makes up the actual barb wiring. It's got some nice paint to it. You can kind of see how it would have come together in the actual prop, where I thought it was actually just wrapped, which I guess wouldn't make sense, because if Negan is taking the thunder down to somebody, the barbed wire would probably start unraveling itself. So what they've done is they've taken these little ringlets and they've hammered the barbed wire to the bat. And it actually makes appearances throughout the course of the bat. You can see that there's a couple of those little looplets that adhere. There's another one there. Again, they're all over the bat, where it loops and keeps the barbed wire affixed to the bat, like keeps everything nice and tight. And then on the top, you can see there's how everything kind of loops itself through. Kind of just loose wire at the top, the excess wire, and even a barb on the top there. The one thing you're probably seeing, or not so much seeing, is any blood residual. Kind of like the old movie Maniacs, I wish that they had done two variations of Lucille. One, a regular version, which is this one right here, and then one that was bloodied, where you would see either like old blood or fresh caked blood, not only on the barbs, but also on the actual wood itself. If you are thinking to sizing, it is a 1-to-1 scale, so it's the exact same size as what a normal bat would be. They have painted in some grain work here, which is the only thing that I would say is the negative to this particular bat. While it's as close as you're going to get to a bat without, I'm sure you could find someone who's customed a real wood bat that has wrapped real barbed wire around that, but again, that's a little bit more of a dangerous replica to have. This is the closest thing you're going to get for a safer version of Lucille. But that being said, the only real problem I have with the bat itself is that, for starters, it's in sections. So the handle, or the end of it, right there, nice grain work done there. But the handle portion, the end of it is a separate piece. Then this part here is a separate piece, which attaches here. Then you've got the last piece. So it's basically like three pieces attached together. This is pretty hidden. This seam right here is pretty hidden because you got the barbed wire wrapped around it. But it's very apparent that you can see this line, this creased line right around here where the two pieces have attached together. I guess there's really no way around it. It's a lot easier for them to basically produce a mold where it's half that size, and then I guess they're connecting the two together. The other thing I would say is my only other nitpick about the bat, excluding the fact that a bloodied version would have been really nice, is the fact that the bat, I feel, doesn't have nearly the same coloring as it does in the show. It almost comes across a little bit more pale here, almost coloring to like a caramel color. Now, I looked at source material at the time I was doing the review of this, and while I feel like the handle is slightly off, it could have maybe used a little bit more of a brown color. It does get considerably darker up the top here. Now, you could chalk that up to, again, the fact that there's blood all over the end of Lucille. That would warrant why that was a darker wood. But I feel like the grain color and the actual coloring of the wood itself could have fared a darker wash. Something a little bit more like a chestnut color, a little bit to the top here, as opposed to having the entire bat, as you can see there, from the end to the tip, and instead of having it this light color. That's the only thing I would say as a nitpick to the bat. But other than that, the bat looks great. It's interesting that for like replicas or like a Megatron that they have to put a color tip on the end of it, but like something like a bat here, they were able to somehow get cleared, I guess, for an actual release. I can't stress this enough, though. It's something that would be for an adult collector. I don't know if I would say take this out and start carrying around this bat. People might start looking at you a little strangely, I guess, unless you go into a convention where you're dressed up as Negan. But all in all, not a bad looking collectible. It's got good weight to it, which I like. It doesn't feel hollow, even though I know it's made of a hollow plastic. But it does have a good 1-to-1 scale feel. It has a good weight feel to it. And I think overall the actual barbed wire, I think, turned out really good. It's the better aspect of the entire bat. The bat could have used, I think, a little bit of a darker chestnut color of the brown, maybe especially around the top area here. But I guess if you really wanted to, and you're a customizer, you could probably just go in there with a little bit of a chestnut wash and just darken this up slightly. Other than that, that's the only thing I would say is the negative to this. All in all, it's a really nice looking replica. Fine work, McFarlane Toys. Fine work by giving us a replica here of Lucille. Today we were checking out The Walking Dead. Just able to find this at my local comic book store. Today we're looking at the McFarlane Toys. This was The Walking Dead Lucille replica. If you like this video, certainly hit it with a like. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? Click that little subscribe button down below. You're good to go. And if you also like Walking Dead, there's a Walking Dead, did you know that? A Walking Dead playlist that you can go back and check out older videos as well. How about that? As always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.